This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, residents of a Dunedin beach suburb reveal a stunning 3D artwork they've been piecing together for the last 2 years. A Queenstown astronomer tired of freezing nights outside stargazing takes matters into his own hands. And Dunedin has a plentiful inner-city veggie garden almost a stone's throw from the heart of the CBD. Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi o te ahiahi nei, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. Thousands of hours have gone into a colourful and massive new mosaic hidden down an alleyway in the Dunedin suburb of Ocean View. It's taken a group of locals multiple years to arrange piece by piece a wondrous scene which leads viewers from sea to sky.
It is grout work if you can get it. This team of women are the core members of about 12 Ocean View residents who took it upon themselves to beautify this wall in their suburb.
We had this wonderful empty space, and I had, from working at Tile Centre, I had a lot of product that had been destined for the skip, which I just couldn't see all these beautiful things going to the skip. They'd been stored at my house, at my neighbour's place, just waiting for use.
Project coordinator Vianney Santagati says many of the materials have been donated for the project, coming from her employer, while others were purchased with a grant from the Dunedin City Council. Santagati says her neighbour Maria took care of applying for resource consent from the DCC, as well as other council paperwork.
But we got the resource consent, and she did all the paperwork to get a matching community grant from DCC, so we got some money to get the adhesive to get it up on the wall and the grout. So sort of my initial idea, Maria thought it was a great idea, got it up and going.
From there, about 18 months to 2 years ago, they put flyers around the community asking if people wanted to learn how to make a mosaic. Santagati says, as they're all people of a certain age, there were a number of aches and pains along the way.
I was having knee issues for a bit then. My physios fixed my knee issues. Margaret will probably have, we're all having some sort of issues with getting up and down and making sure you got little things to kneel on. And
she says it's been a labour of love, and during the time she and the team have been working on it, it's left an impression on them. It's even what she sees when she closes her eyes.
Oh, lots of little squares, lots of little bits. Lots of bright colours. Now, at the moment, what I see is Maria's sunset, because it's just so bright and beautiful that's... I go to sleep, it's like the little sun and all the oranges and yellows coming out from that.
Along with the time, love and sweat they've put into the mosaic, one of the special little extras they've put into the work is adding a secret ingredient to the grout. Different colours of fairy dust. Vianney Santagati estimates there could be tens of thousands of individual ceramic pieces in the work, and they're looking forward to seeing what people think of it for many years to come. In Dunedin, The South Today.
A man has been arrested by police after allegedly trying to steal gun ammunition from a Dunedin firearms store this afternoon. Sergeant Carl Hemmingson of Dunedin Police says the man entered the Gun City store in Cumberland Street at about midday and was questioned by a staff member about shoplifting. Police say it appears the customer had second thoughts about his actions and fled the scene without ammunition. Sergeant Hemmingson says the man was arrested 10 minutes later on nearby Princes Street and taken to the Dunedin Central Police Station for questioning. A shop spokesperson says no one was threatened or injured during the incident. A Queenstown astronomer has gotten sick of spending chilly nights on his deck with his telescope. His solution has been to build his own little observatory in his backyard.
Retired astronomy professor Brian Boyle loves the dark night skies in Queenstown so much that he's built his own little observatory in his backyard, with a movable roof to make operating his telescope on chilly nights a whole lot more pleasant.
The telescope's got a permanent home. I can set everything up. I don't need to go out every night and set things up or tear them down. I can even go to bed and leave it running automatically without having to worry too much about it raining during the night and rushing out and grabbing things and taking them back in.
Boyle's hoping to teach small groups of interested people on how to use modern technology to observe the stars and planets.
It would be lovely to actually show a few people about how, even with relatively simple kit, a camera and a tripod, you can actually take some pretty stunning views of the night sky.
But be warned, if you get hooked into taking stunning images, such as this one he took of the Orion Nebula, you may find yourself outlaying a lot of cash.
And then, of course, you can graduate up from just a tripod to a little low-cost star tracker in which to mount your camera. And then, of course, you really get bitten by the bug. You can scale up to things like a large telescope with a significant mount in order to hold the payload. And then you get into dedicated astronomy cameras, dedicated filters, computers, you name it. The sky's the limit for this sort of stuff.
The little 2 by 3 metre observatory was built out of plywood and painted to match his house. In Queenstown, the South Today.
More than 200 people entered a salmon fishing competition in Dunedin over the weekend, but not a single salmon above the size limit was caught. There were also prizes for the heaviest kingfish and kahawai, however no kingfish were caught either. It's believed the salmon drought has been caused by the warming waters of Otago Harbour. It wasn't all bad news for participants. Names were drawn from a hat to randomly award the unclaimed prizes. A vegetable gardener's paradise has been established on a tiny plot of land behind a building in inner city Dunedin. The gardener behind the cultivation says it's intended to demonstrate what can be done on a small plot of land.
This colourful little vegetable garden behind Dunedin's King Edward Court is the pride and joy of semi-retired landscape architect Don Barham.
Well, this is a demonstration garden. That's why I put some show into it. Some flowers amongst the vegetables and vegetables amongst the flowers.
Included in the huge selection of plants such as corn, tomatoes, beetroot and lettuce are vegetables favoured by recently arrived overseas immigrants who Barham has got to know.
I've got a lot of friends who enjoy kale, and so I'm growing a lot of the cabbage family for that, and silver beet. There's lettuces that have grown and got too big and then replanted again, some more. There's beetroot here and parsnips and white butterflies, lots of those.
Next to Barham's model garden is a huge brick and stone building dating back to 1913, which was originally known as King Edward Technical College, and was in part designed by his grandfather. This summer, sunflowers are in full bloom out the front of the building, following a sowing of seeds that didn't strike first time.
First lot I sowed, and nothing grew. And I thought, oh, the whole packet's dead. And so but I had the rest of the packet, so I just sowed them all. And suddenly they had all grown. And so maybe it was a better time of the season to warmer soils and stuff.
Before embarking on his career as a landscape architect, Barham started out studying horticulture and says he's enjoying going back to his roots. He believes the two main tricks to a successful vegetable garden are feeding the soil and regular hoeing around the plants to keep the weeds at bay.
I put a lot of compost and manure into the soil first and got it going, and the big thing in improving a garden is to get the perennial weeds out first. Anything that'll grow and regrow and grow again, it's got to go off-site. So there's been oxalis in here and some convolvulus and so forth, and they've all gone.
In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, it's all about life on the farm. As we flock to a sheep sale, we witness a sheep that went AWOL, lose its 5-year-old fleece, and we visit a fundraising lamb sale in South Otago. Ka kite a konei.
risk of developing melanoma skin cancer. You owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear. Go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
No Maianor. A Dunedin sheep farmer has sold his whole crop of lambs on his annual trip to the Balclutha stock sale. Aramoana farmer Brian Wilson entered about 650 Suffolk Perrindale Cross lambs at the sheep sale. He's run about 650 ewes on his hilly 250 hectare farm since 1993 and has attended the event at the Balclutha sale yards for the past few years. Wilson didn't set a reserve price on the flock but says all of his lambs sold. In more sheep-related news, a rogue sheep has finally been given a much-needed haircut at a farm on Scroggs Hill in Dunedin. The woolly wanderer had been roaming the scrub and gullies of the hill for at least the last 2 years.
Not quite as much wool as the world-famous Shrek, but one sheep, affectionately called the Scroggs Hill Shaggy Swamp Monster, was finally caught with the help of 2 rugby players after roaming free in the scrub-filled valley. Dunedin shearer Bill Boys took 16 kilograms of extra wool off the hairy Aries.
Oh, I should have checked her mouth. She'll be 4 or 5 years old. She's not that old.
Domestic sheep, which have gone through thousands of years of natural selection by herders, will grow wool indefinitely if humans don't cut it, whereas primitive sheep like bighorns shed most of their wool every year. Once its coat was off, the sheep was said to prance about. In Dunedin, the South Today.
2 South Otago sporting clubs have teamed up to host a fundraising prime lamb competition. The president of the Lawrence Rugby Club says the funds will be distributed around the local community.
There was a spring in the step of some of these lambs being traded near Lawrence. They're competing in a fundraising auction to see who is South Otago's next top prime lamb.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We're glad to see anything in the community getting done. And anyone who's keen to, to get something on the move, then we're keen to help out.
Lawrence Rugby Club President Sean Rowan says the event was started by the local cricket club about 24 years ago, with the rugby club joining to prop up the side 4 years after it began. He says the clubs aren't that choosy in terms of which projects receive funding.
A portion of the proceeds go towards the Lawrence Rugby and Cricket Club, which we are going to distribute as we see fit to an organisation, and then people are able to distribute the rest of the funds to whatever organisation they want to. So a lot of people will give it to the local kindy or the Educare or the local pool or the skate park or the health centre, just really anything that needs money in the community.
Rowan says there are a host of sponsors on board offering prizes to encourage competitors. And he says it's a fun day out for all concerned.
How much fun is it? I mean, it's always a good day out for the people organising and that, and it's good to get out and see the farmers where you're picking up their lambs and stuff like that, and then we get to have a bit of a debrief and a prize given at the end. So it's good for people to get out and about and catch up at the start of March.
125 lambs were donated to be sold on the day. Local farmer Steve McTavish had a fantastic day out, winning the Russell Robertson Memorial Trophy. He also won the heavyweight terminals section. The section's name means the lamb is set for a one-way truck ride. In South Otago, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, contestants get amongst it at the triathlon in Oamaru, and we look at the early week's weather. Will the cold spell continue? Ha koko ake nei.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear. Go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hoki mai anō. There was a great turnout for the Oamaru Triathlon and Duathlon event on Sunday. Athletes had to swim, cycle and run around Oamaru to come out on top.
About 120 athletes turned up for the Oamaru Triathlon and Duathlon event on Sunday. The event attracted keen sports people like Callum Brown, who travelled 5 hours from Greymouth just for the event. The journey was worth it as he took out the intermediate duathlon on the day. Organised by the Oamaru Multisport Club, their treasurer and stalwart Adair Craik says numbers were down, but it was due to the change in alert levels. The next big day for the club will be a fun run and duathlon series in November. In Oamaru, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Residents of a Dunedin Beach suburb revealed a stunning 3D alleyway artwork they've been piecing together for the last 2 years. A Queenstown astronomer who was tired of freezing nights outside stargazing took matters into his own hands. And Dunedin has a plentiful inner-city veggie garden, almost a stone's throw from the heart of the CBD on Up Stewart Street. Now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we have editor Barry Stewart with us this evening. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello, Simon. Britain's Prince Harry and his wife Meghan have given their explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, lifting the lid on royal life. So we'll have some of the key quotes from that interview and also reaction to it. So it's obviously causing a storm in the UK, so we'll watch and wait for that with bated breath. I think it may be on New Zealand screens tomorrow, so a lot of interest in that. An elderly woman had to wait nearly 2 hours for an ambulance, and she was left lying in a Green Island street with broken bones. So that was a pretty horrific story today. On a lighter note, we have travel and we take a look at the volcanic wonderland of Banks Peninsula. So that's within easy driving distance for us that are confined to the borders. Also a murder trial in Invercargill. That's not so light, but that starts in Invercargill today, so the first day of that. And on a sporting note, we have motorcycle champion Aaron Slight, who is swapping 2 wheels for 4, and he's been invited as the guest driver at the Otago Rally. And also, our rugby writer Stephen Hepburn has a look at. Did you watch the rugby on Friday night?
Of course I did. Of
course you did. And the jersey the Highlanders were wearing was a strange shade of green. Well, Steve debates or looks at the issues of the shades of green that the Highlanders have been wearing in their away jersey.
Lots of different colours, aren't they?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so that's an interesting diversion.
Thank you, Barry.
Okay.
Time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, the first hint of autumn colour in front of a grey sky. Looking at the situation, northwesterly airflow increases over the southern New Zealand tomorrow as a cold front moves across the Tasman Sea. That front is set to roll over the region on Wednesday, bringing rain to most places and cool southwest winds. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, where it's cloudy in both Greymouth and Westport, 17 and 18 degrees for you. Warmer at the top of the island, Nelson enjoys 20 degrees and sun, just a bit of cloud in Blenheim to model otherwise sunny skies, 23 degrees. And spots of sun and cloud in Canterbury and mild highs of 18, 19 and 22 degrees for Kaikoura, Christchurch and Ashburton respectively. To the southern towns, northwesterlies and cloud increasing across the region, 19 degrees for everyone, the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore. To central Otago, it's a similar forecast for Wanaka and Queenstown, moderate northwesterlies and increasing cloud on 20 degrees. High cloud accompanies the northwesterlies in Alexandra on 22, and those winds bring rain to Te Anau later on, as well as 18 degrees. Those moderate northwesterlies blow across the northern towns too. Timaru and Oamaru have high cloud and 21 degrees. That's 22 degrees with cloud increasing for Twizel and Omarama. It's cloudy in Dunedin tonight with southwest winds easing and a low of 8 degrees. That leads to a fine day tomorrow with periods of scattered light cloud. Moderate northeast winds develop later in the day. A high of 19 and a low of 13. Wednesday's worse, generally overcast with periods of rain. Tuesday's northeaster dies away but only leads to cold southwesterlies later on. A high of 17 and a low of 12. And in Invercargill it's cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 8. Tomorrow starts fine but high cloud increases and lowers during the day, bringing rain later. All this carried by freshening northwest winds. a high of 18 and a low of 12 degrees. The reverse on Wednesday, earlier rain eases to showers and eventually clears. The fresh, cold southwesterlies die out too. Still cool though, a high of 13 and a low of 3. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.